Imagine for a moment that every word you speak could become either a weapon or a trap. One sentence spoken at the wrong moment can damage a relationship, cost you an opportunity, expose your weaknesses, or hand your enemies exactly what they want. Yet the strongest people are not those who speak the most. They are the ones who know exactly when to remain silent. Today, everyone feels compelled to share an opinion on everything. Social media rewards instant reactions, and constant noise has replaced thoughtful reflection. As a result, silence has become a rare skill, and like any rare skill, it gives a tremendous advantage to those who learn to master it. Nearly 2,000 years ago, the philosopher Emperor Marcus Aurelius understood this principle. Despite holding immense power, he never felt the need to answer every insult or respond to every provocation. He knew that while some battles are won with words, the most important victories are achieved through silence. Silence is not weakness. More often than not, it is the highest form of self-control. If you learn to stay silent in the 7 situations we are about to explore, you will avoid unnecessary conflict, protect your peace of mind, and develop a quiet confidence that naturally earns respect. Stay until the end because the final situation is the one most people ignore, yet it may be the one that transforms your life the most. Let's begin. The first situation where you should remain silent is when someone is deliberately trying to provoke you. Some people have no interest in having an honest discussion. They simply want an emotional reaction. They know that by pressing on your wounds, they can make you lose your temper. The moment you react with anger, they have already won. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the best revenge against a bad person is not to become like them. Think about that. When someone insults you and you respond with the same hostility, who is truly in control? It is no longer you. That person has taken control of your emotions. In moments like these, silence becomes an act of strength. It shows that your peace of mind does not depend on someone else's words. You refuse to hand over control of your inner balance. Remaining silent does not mean accepting disrespect. It means choosing the right moment and the right method to respond instead of reacting in anger. Emotionally intelligent people understand one important truth. Every reaction costs energy. Why waste that energy on someone whose only goal is to throw you off balance? The second situation is when you are angry. When anger takes over, emotion overrides reason. Your words begin moving faster than your thoughts, and those are often the words you regret for years. How many families have been broken apart by a sentence spoken in anger? How many friendships have ended because no one chose to stay silent for just a few moments? Marcus Aurelius reminded us that no one should become a slave to their emotions. The person who masters their anger possesses a far greater strength than the one who seeks to dominate others. When you feel anger rising, let silence become your greatest ally. Take a breath. Walk away if necessary. Wait until your mind is calm before you speak. Words spoken with calmness build relationships. Words spoken in anger usually destroy them. The ability to pause before responding is what separates the wise from the impulsive. The third situation where silence becomes a source of strength is when you begin to succeed. Many people believe they should announce every success. They talk about projects before they begin. They share every ambition, every goal, and every new idea with anyone willing to listen. But the more you advertise your plans, the more you expose yourself to criticism, jealousy, and people who will consciously or unconsciously discourage you. Marcus Aurelius understood that actions speak louder than words. He never needed to convince others that he was a great leader because his actions spoke for themselves. Let your results speak louder than your promises. A tree makes no sound while it is growing, yet everyone notices its greatness once it stands tall. The fourth situation is when someone refuses to understand. There is a difference between someone searching for the truth and someone who only wants to be right. One listens. The other simply waits for their turn to speak. You may present the strongest arguments imaginable, but if the other person refuses to listen, you are only wasting your time and energy. Sometimes silence is the wisest answer. Not every argument deserves to be won. Some are not even worth having. Wise people choose their battles. Impulsive people try to win every debate. Always ask yourself, can this conversation actually change anything? If the answer is no, then your silence is worth far more than endless explanations. The fifth situation involves rumors. When people speak behind your back, your first instinct may be to defend yourself. That is natural. But every attempt to justify yourself often gives the rumor even more attention. Rumors survive because people react to them. Silence, combined with consistent character, almost always reveals the truth. The people who truly know you will judge you by your actions, not by someone else's words. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that your reputation depends less on what others say and more on how you choose to live. Do not let other people's opinions determine your worth. Keep moving forward. In time, truth has a power that lies can never match. The sixth situation is when someone is suffering. We often feel the need to offer advice immediately. But most people are not searching for instant solutions. They simply want someone who will truly listen. In those moments, silence becomes a gift. By allowing another person to speak without interruption, you give them the space to express their fears, pain, and emotions. The best leaders, the best friends, and the best partners are not those who speak the most. They are those who know how to listen with full attention. Sometimes your silence can heal more deeply than the most powerful speech. Finally, here is the seventh situation, and perhaps the most important. Remain silent when your ego demands the last word. The ego hates losing. It constantly wants to prove that it is smarter, stronger, or more capable. Whenever you feel that overwhelming urge to respond one final time, ask yourself one question: am I searching for the truth, or am I simply feeding my pride? Marcus Aurelius teaches that true power begins when we stop trying to control what others think of us. You do not need everyone to agree with you to be right. You do not need to answer every criticism. You do not need to convince people who have already decided not to understand. Silence is not an escape. Sometimes silence is proof that you have risen above the conflict itself. Remember these 7 situations: when you are being provoked, when anger begins to rise, when success comes, when a discussion is pointless, when rumors spread, when someone needs to be heard, and when your ego wants the final word. If you learn to master these moments, you will discover a level of inner peace that very few people ever experience. As Marcus Aurelius said, we have power over our own minds, but never over external events. It is this inner mastery that separates a life ruled by emotion from a life guided by wisdom. If you found this video valuable, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comments which of these 7 situations you find most difficult. Your experience may help someone else facing the same challenge. Above all, never forget this: the most powerful people are not those who speak the loudest, but those who know exactly when silence is their greatest strength.